Life gives us all the same 24 hours in a day, but how we choose to spend them determines the kind of future we create. Too often, people waste their precious time trying to please others, seeking approval, or living by someone else's standards. The truth is, if you don't focus on yourself, you will end up living a life that doesn't belong to you. Every minute you waste on distractions, toxic relationships, or unnecessary comparisons is a minute taken away from your growth, your goals, and your happiness. We live in a world where people are constantly told to give, to serve, to sacrifice, and to put others before themselves. While kindness, generosity, and compassion are virtues, many people misunderstand the idea of self-focus. They confuse it with selfishness. But the truth is, focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is a responsibility you owe to your own life. When you focus on yourself, you're not ignoring others. You're simply making sure that your energy, your goals, and your growth are aligned with your true purpose. Without this alignment, you cannot live a fulfilled life, and ironically, you cannot truly help others either. Think about it this way: you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you neglect yourself, your mental health, your growth, and your dreams, what do you really have to offer the world? People who constantly sacrifice themselves for others, without ever focusing on their own journey, often end up drained, bitter, and unfulfilled. On the other hand, those who take the time to invest in themselves become stronger, wiser, and more capable of giving value to others. Self-focus creates balance. It allows you to contribute to the world without losing yourself in the process. Focusing on yourself is also the foundation of growth. You are a unique individual, with your own talents, strengths, and potential. If you are always chasing validation from others, you will never have the time to explore who you truly are. Many people waste years of their lives trying to meet society's expectations, trying to copy someone else's path, or trying to impress people who don't even care. In doing so, they forget to ask themselves the most important question: what do I really want out of life? The moment you focus on yourself, you begin to find the answer. You stop running in circles and start walking on your true path. It's also important to understand that the word selfish has been misused for too long. Society often labels people as selfish when they set boundaries, say no to things that don't serve them, or choose to prioritize their dreams over others' demands. But in reality, setting boundaries and protecting your time is a sign of self-respect, not selfishness. If you don't respect your own goals, nobody else will. For example, if you spend all your time pleasing others while ignoring your education, your health, or your personal development, you will eventually regret it. But if you focus on yourself now, you will not only grow stronger, you will also be in a position to inspire and uplift others in the future. Focusing on yourself also gives you clarity. When your mind is always occupied with what others think, you live in confusion. But when you turn your attention inward, you begin to understand your strengths and weaknesses. You learn what makes you happy, what drains your energy, and what steps you must take to improve your life. With that clarity comes power, the power to make decisions that align with your goals and bring you closer to the future you want. Most importantly, focusing on yourself connects you with your purpose. Life is too short to live someone else's dream. You were born with a unique purpose that nobody else can fulfill. But you will never discover it if your eyes are always on others. By focusing on yourself, your growth, your skills, your vision, you uncover that purpose, and with it comes fulfillment, direction, and peace. So, don't let anyone convince you that focusing on yourself is wrong. It is not selfish. It is necessary. It is the foundation of growth, the key to finding your purpose, and the path to becoming the best version of yourself. And when you become the best version of yourself, you naturally inspire others to do the same. Every human being is given the same 24 hours in a day. Whether you are rich or poor, educated or uneducated, young or old, You cannot buy an extra hour or save unused time for later. Time is the most precious resource life gives us, yet it is the one most people waste without realizing its true worth. Unlike money, which can be earned again, or possessions, which can be replaced, time is irreversible. Once a moment passes, it is gone forever. This is why understanding the value of time is the first step toward creating a meaningful and successful life. Many people live as though time is unlimited. They postpone their dreams, delay their goals, and waste countless hours on distractions. They say, "I'll start tomorrow," but tomorrow turns into weeks, then months, then years. The harsh reality is that wasted time is wasted life. Imagine spending years doing things that don't align with your goals, scrolling endlessly through social media, gossiping about others, chasing toxic relationships, or procrastinating on your ambitions. Each hour you waste is an opportunity lost forever. It is a piece of your life you can never get back. What separates successful people from the unsuccessful is not luck or talent alone. It is how they use their time. A person who respects their time values every hour as an investment. They know that every day offers a chance to learn, to grow, to move closer to their dreams. Even small, consistent actions taken daily create massive results over time. On the other hand, those who waste time on meaningless activities find themselves stagnant, stuck in the same place year after year, wondering why their lives never change. Think of time as a bank account that resets every day. Each morning, you are given 24 hours to spend. You cannot carry the hours over to the next day. If you waste them, they vanish. If you invest them wisely, they bring returns in the form of knowledge, growth, opportunities, and peace of mind. The difference lies in how you choose to spend this daily gift. Will you use it to build your future, or will you squander it on things that don't matter? Another important truth about time is that it reveals priorities. If you say something is important to you but you never dedicate time to it, then it is not truly important. For example, many people claim they want success, but they spend more time watching television than working on their goals. Others say they value their health, but they give no time to exercise or proper rest. Time doesn't lie. How you spend it shows what truly matters to you. That's why being mindful of your time is essential. You must align your daily actions with your ultimate goals. Wasting time not only delays progress, it also creates regret. Regret is one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry. People often look back on their lives and wish they had used their time more wisely, wish they had studied harder, worked smarter, nurtured better habits, or spent more time with loved ones. The best way to avoid regret in the future is to respect your time today. Every day matters, every hour matters, and every moment matters. Time is also a reminder that life is fragile and temporary. None of us knows how much time we truly have. Tomorrow is never promised. This is not meant to create fear, but urgency. If you knew your time was limited, how would you choose to spend it? Would you waste it on meaningless distractions, or would you dedicate it to building a legacy, achieving your dreams, and creating memories with the people who matter most? The wisest thing you can do is treat time as your most valuable currency. Guard it carefully. Invest it in things that matter, your growth, your health, your relationships, and your vision. Because once wasted, it will never return. Remember, your time is your life, and how you spend it determines the story you leave behind. One of the greatest thieves of joy and productivity is comparison. In today's world, where social media highlights only the best moments of people's lives, it has become easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. You look at someone's achievements, lifestyle, or appearance, and suddenly your own life feels small. You begin to believe you are behind, inadequate, or unworthy. But the truth is, comparison is an endless game. You will never win. No matter how much you achieve, there will always be someone who has more, does more, or looks better. If you keep comparing, you will never feel fulfilled. Comparison distracts you from your unique path. Every individual has their own timeline, their own journey, and their own struggles. Just because someone is ahead of you in one area, does not mean they are ahead in life. Perhaps you are still building, still learning, or still preparing for something bigger. When you constantly compare, you take your focus away from your own progress and waste valuable time envying others. This not only slows your growth, but also destroys your peace of mind. True success comes when you measure yourself against who you were yesterday, not against who someone else is today. The other half of this truth is about chasing people who don't value you. Too many people waste precious time trying to earn the attention, approval, or love of others who are not interested. They bend over backward to please people, hoping to be noticed, respected, or accepted. But in reality, this only leads to disappointment and emptiness. If someone does not value your presence, your worth does not decrease. It simply means you are giving your energy to the wrong people. Chasing people is one of the clearest signs of self-neglect. When you pursue people who constantly ignore you, disrespect you, or take you for granted, you send yourself a harmful message that their validation is more important than your self-respect. Over time, this weakens your confidence and keeps you stuck in toxic cycles. Instead of chasing people, you must focus on becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts respect and genuine relationships. When you value yourself, the right people will value you too. It's also important to remember that those who don't value you are not necessarily bad people. They just don't align with your path. Sometimes rejection is protection. Life removes certain people because they are not meant to walk with you into the future you are building. Holding on to them only slows you down. When you stop chasing and instead focus on yourself, you create space for people who truly see your worth and want to grow with you. Both comparison and chasing people come from the same root: insecurity. You feel you are not enough as you are, so you look outward for proof of your worth. But the solution is not out there, it is within you. You must realize that your value is not determined by how you measure up to others or by who accepts you. Your value is inherent, unshakable, and independent of external validation. Once you embrace this truth, you stop wasting time on comparisons and unworthy pursuits, and you start investing that time in your growth, dreams, and inner peace. Life becomes much lighter when you release the burden of comparison and stop running after those who don't care. Instead of asking, "Why don't they value me?" start asking, "Why am I wasting my time on them?" Instead of wondering, "Why am I not like them?" ask yourself, "How can I be better than I was yesterday?" That shift in mindset changes everything. So stop comparing. Stop chasing. Focus on yourself. Build your own path, honor your own journey, and surround yourself with people who truly see and value you. In the end, the only competition that matters is with the person you were yesterday, and the only people worth your time are those who appreciate the real you. In life, the difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck often comes down to two qualities: discipline and clarity. These are not gifts you are born with. They are skills you develop by directing your attention to your own path, rather than scattering your energy on distractions. The more you focus on yourself, the clearer your vision becomes and the stronger your self-discipline grows. Without this focus, life becomes a series of wasted opportunities and unfinished dreams. Discipline is the ability to stay consistent with the actions that move you closer to your goals, even when motivation fades. Motivation is temporary, it rises and falls like waves. But discipline is steady, it is the anchor that keeps you moving forward, regardless of mood or circumstances. The problem is, most people never develop discipline because they are constantly distracted. Instead of focusing on their studies, their craft, or their business, they give hours of their day to entertainment, gossip, social media, or people who drain their energy. Every distraction chips away at their ability to remain consistent, and over time, they wonder why success feels out of reach. Clarity is equally important. When your mind is cluttered with comparisons, opinions, and unnecessary noise, you cannot see your path clearly. Lack of clarity leads to confusion, and confusion leads to wasted time. You may find yourself trying to do everything at once, jumping from one goal to another, or following what others are doing, instead of listening to your own inner calling. This is why focusing on yourself is crucial. It allows you to quiet the noise, identify your priorities, and create a roadmap for your life. With clarity, you no longer chase every shiny distraction, you know exactly where you're going and why. The combination of discipline and clarity creates unstoppable momentum. Imagine you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve. Whether it's building a business, getting fit, mastering a skill, or improving your life. That vision gives you direction. Now imagine you also have discipline. You commit daily, you show up even when it's hard, and you refuse to let distractions pull you away. With both clarity and discipline, success is not a question of if, but when. On the other hand, a lack of focus leads to chaos. People who allow distractions to control them never build momentum. They may start a project but never finish. They may talk about their goals but never take consistent action. They may even admire disciplined people from afar, but fail to realize that the difference lies in focus. Success is never built overnight. It is built in small, disciplined steps taken daily in the right direction. And that right direction only becomes visible when you have clarity of purpose. Focusing on your own path also strengthens your confidence. When you stop comparing and chasing others, you begin to trust your journey. You no longer feel the need to copy what someone else is doing, or to measure your progress against theirs. Instead, you define success on your own terms. That inner alignment gives you the confidence to stay disciplined, because you know you are walking a path that belongs to you, not one borrowed from someone else. Of course, distractions will always exist. The world is full of noise competing for your attention. But you have a choice: either you control your focus, or distractions will control it for you. Every time you choose your path over a distraction, you build your discipline. Every time you silence the noise and listen to your inner vision, you sharpen your clarity. Over time, these small choices compound into massive transformation. So, if you want to achieve greatness, stop scattering your focus. Stop letting distractions steal your time and energy. Instead, look inward. Ask yourself, what do I really want? What steps must I take daily to get there? Then commit with discipline. Once you align clarity with discipline, you become unstoppable. One of the most powerful truths you can ever accept in life is this: you are responsible for your own happiness, growth, and success. Too often, people wait for someone else to rescue them, guide them, or hand them the opportunities they dream of. They blame their parents, their environment, their circumstances, or even luck when life does not go their way. But the moment you place responsibility for your future in someone else's hands, you surrender your power. True freedom begins when you realize that no one is coming to save you. It's up to you to create the life you want. Personal responsibility does not mean life will always be fair. In fact, life can be unpredictable, filled with obstacles and challenges outside your control. But what is always in your control is how you respond. You cannot always choose what happens to you, but you can choose your attitude, your actions, and your determination. Some people use their hardships as excuses to give up, while others use the same hardships as fuel to push forward. The difference lies in whether they take responsibility for their reactions and choices. When you rely on others for your happiness or success, you set yourself up for disappointment. People may support you, but they cannot carry you forever. A mentor can guide you, but they cannot walk the path for you. Friends and family may encourage you, but they cannot do the work on your behalf. Your boss, your teacher, your partner, they all have their own lives to live. At the end of the day, it is your decisions, your discipline, and your perseverance that shape your future. Taking personal responsibility also means refusing to blame. Blame is easy. It allows you to shift the weight of failure onto someone else. You might say, "I didn't succeed because no one supported me." Or, "I'm not happy because of what they did to me." While these excuses may feel comforting in the moment, they only keep you stuck. The truth is, blaming others does not change your circumstances. Responsibility, however, gives you the power to change. Because once you admit that your life is in your hands, you gain control over your destiny. This principle also applies to happiness. Many people believe happiness comes from external sources, money, relationships, or recognition. They think, "I'll be happy when I find the right partner," or "I'll be happy when I get the promotion." But external happiness is fragile. The job may end, the partner may leave, or the recognition may fade. If your happiness depends entirely on others, you will always live in uncertainty. Real happiness comes from within, from self-respect, self-growth, and living in alignment with your values. That kind of happiness cannot be taken away, because it does not depend on anyone else. Personal responsibility may feel heavy at first, because it means you can no longer hide behind excuses. But it is also empowering, because it means you are not powerless. You have the ability to change your habits, to learn new skills, to set new goals, and to build a life you are proud of. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is a step in one direction or another. The more intentional you are with your choices, the more control you have over the direction of your life. The greatest leaders, achievers, and innovators all share this mindset. They do not wait for the perfect moment, or for someone to give them permission. They take initiative. They see challenges as opportunities to grow. They know that if something is missing in their life, they must create it. That is what sets them apart from those who wait endlessly for life to change on its own. So, take responsibility today. Stop waiting for others to build the life you dream of. Stop blaming circumstances for where you are. Accept the truth: your future depends on you. Once you embrace this mindset, you stop wasting time and start using it wisely. You stop looking outward for answers and start looking inward for solutions. That shift is the foundation of both happiness and success. When people hear the word investment, they often think of money, stocks, or property. These are valuable, yes, but the greatest and most lasting investment you can ever make is not financial. It is personal. Investing in yourself means dedicating time, energy, and resources to your growth, health, skills, and mindset. Unlike material possessions that can be lost or taken away, the growth you achieve within yourself becomes a permanent part of who you are. It shapes your character, your future, and ultimately, your destiny. Many people spend years working hard to earn money, but they neglect the most important source of wealth themselves. They chase opportunities without preparing themselves to handle them. They want success without developing the discipline or skills required to sustain it. But life does not reward what you want. It rewards what you become. And what you become is determined by the investments you make in yourself daily. So what does it mean to invest in yourself? First, it means investing in your mind. Knowledge and skills are the foundation of growth. Reading books, learning new skills, attending workshops, or simply seeking wisdom from those ahead of you. These are all forms of self-investment. The more you learn, the more valuable you become in every area of life. Education doesn't end in school, it is a lifelong journey. Each time you feed your mind, you expand your possibilities. Second, investing in yourself means taking care of your body. Health is wealth, and without it, nothing else matters. You may have dreams, but if you lack the energy and strength to pursue them, those dreams will remain out of reach. Simple daily habits, eating well, exercising, getting enough rest, are powerful investments in your long-term future. A strong body supports a strong mind, and together they form the foundation for lasting success. Third, it means developing your character and mindset. Skills may get you opportunities, but mindset determines whether you can hold on to them. A positive, resilient, and disciplined mind will carry you through challenges when others give up. Character traits like integrity, patience, and self-confidence cannot be bought, they must be cultivated. These qualities define how people perceive you, how opportunities come to you, and how far you can go. Investing in yourself also involves spending time on your passions and goals. Too often, people put their dreams on hold while waiting for the right time. But there is no perfect time. There is only now. Every hour you dedicate to your craft, your business idea, or your personal growth compounds over time. Like planting seeds. The effort may not show immediate results, but if you stay consistent, those seeds will grow into a harvest that shapes your future. The beauty of self-investment is that it multiplies. When you grow, every area of your life improves. You attract better opportunities because your skills stand out. You build healthier relationships because your mindset is stronger. You earn more respect because your character shines. And perhaps most importantly, you inspire others to invest in themselves too. Your growth becomes a ripple effect that reaches beyond your own life. On the other hand, neglecting to invest in yourself has serious consequences. If you waste your time on distractions, ignore your health, or refuse to learn, you may find yourself stuck, dependent on others, or unprepared when opportunities arise. Life rewards those who are ready. If you are not growing, you are falling behind. So treat yourself as your most valuable asset. Guard your time, nurture your mind and body, and commit to becoming the best version of yourself. Every book you read, every skill you learn, every healthy habit you build, is like adding interest to the bank of your future. Unlike material investments, this one never loses value, it only grows stronger with time. Remember this: money, possessions, and even people may come and go, but who you become will always stay with you. Your growth shapes your future, and the best way to predict that future is to invest in yourself today.